Okay, it says recording.
Okay, here we go. Well, good evening, folks, and welcome to week 5. Um, I hope you've had a good week so far and have enjoyed working on your assignment for this week. And of course, it's due on Sunday evening, and we'll talk about it and give you time tonight to ask any questions that you have. Before we get started, I'm going to try to do breakout groups today. And I underscore that word try because I always mess up. Either it's getting them set up or bringing you back, but I'm going to try to do breakout groups in 8 teams. So there should be about 4 of you per team. One team may have five. So when I break you out into teams, listen closely to your directions. Number one, I want you to share, everyone to share your individual takeaway from chapter 3. While you are sharing, I want you to write down what others say. And then I want you to reflect after everyone's shared. And then I want you as a group to come to consensus about one takeaway that you want to present to the class. So you're going to have to work together in teams and come to a consensus. Everyone share, take good notes, then come to a consensus about the big takeaway for the chapter. Now, I'm going to give you about 7 minutes to do that process. And then when we come back and regroup, you can, you'll need to pick a person, one person in your group to write in the chat. Any questions? Okay, the groups are going to randomly assign.
So for that standard for the check-in,
What was that?
I don't know.
Uh,
I think it was
I think
something
it was
else.
something else. Okay. Okay, guys, here we go. Dr. Stedman, we may get assigned or we may not.
We got a sign, but I'm going to, and this gives us a choice to say not now. So I'm not going to join in with the group. Are you?
No.
Okay. Okay.
I guess we can check roll this way too. Am I
Okay.
supposed
Langley is not in a room.
am I supposed to perhaps okay, here's Nicole not joined. She's unassigned.
Okay.
I don't know how that happened.
Oh, I'm sorry. What's going on?
I'm going to assign you to Nicole, I am going to assign you to a group, um, group 7.
Okay.
You'll get an invite.
Well, so far so good.
I think everybody's in.
Yes.
I'm gonna put the timer on now. Okay, so
Kathy, this Infinite campus, it is unreal what it's the work. Because I met for 2 hours at my academy today with the principal and key staff, still trying to troubleshoot. And you can't get anybody to help you.
Well, I'm gonna tell you what, I don't know if we're having that kind of trouble in my district, our district or not. I'm a user because of my granddaughters. I've signed up and I haven't noticed any issues with it, but
And
there may be.
you got your progress report too, didn't you?
Yes, we
Now,
did.
was this their first year?
Yes.
Okay. I don't know. It's been a struggle. And the thing is, we can do it. We just can't get anybody to help us, to work through some of the things that, I mean, once we know something, we know it. And see, my school we were in the pilot stage last year, and everybody that did the training are the ones that left me.
Yeah.
So
Danny,
basically, we had to start all over.
we cannot check um our attendance by this. We're gonna have to look at the list and see who's
Yeah.
missing. I figured that much out.
But this gives them a chance to collaborate with each other a little more too.
Yeah.
There actually is time, if you wanted to, for whoever the spokesperson is to speak out if you wanted them to.
Okay. All right.
We've got time.
All right. That sounds good.
Candace coming on. It's too late to put her with a group now, isn't it? Or are you?
I could put her with group 6. Yeah, I'll put her in. Candace, I'm gonna assign you to group 6. Are you there?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we're in breakout groups and I'm gonna assign you to group 6.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. I'm sorry. I'm having some technical issues, so I'm using my phone.
Okay. All right. You should get an invite to go there.
Okay, thank you.
We're just about at perfect attendance. Just about.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I went to a little Greek restaurant that we go to sometime. They had the best spaghetti, all that kind of stuff. But I
Mm-hmm.
got it's a turkey club, and I love their turkey club, and they put it in quarters, and it's stacked about that high. It's really big, so big that they have to take one of those big toothpick things and put it down in it. But I got some. They make homemade onion rings there. And
Oh,
I had never eaten them there. Kathy, the best I have ever put my mouth to.
did you get you any today?
I went today. Yes,
Did you get you any onion rings today?
I got onion rings today. Yes, I ate them for the first time. So that's
Oh, wow.
uh, and
That's
it's so
good.
much. It's so much. You eat half for lunch and bring the other half home. It's just so much.
Right.
Yeah.
We've got about another minute and a half.
Okay. These breakout times, when I'm in sessions like that, they go by so fast.
They do, and some of them have 4 people.
Mhm.
So they will need those few minutes.
You take your nap today? Yeah, oh, you said you didn't take a nap today.
I did. I laid down and rested. I never went to sleep for about
Yeah.
30 minutes when I got home.
Well, that helps though.
Yeah, it
That's
does.
when I came home from work, I just and I got in my recliner and I stayed there for about 25 minutes, and
Yeah,
it was enough to get me back on my feet again and started. So
right. Sometimes I'll go into a deep sleep very quickly. Now, I don't like to do that because then I'm
I
kind of
can't
dead-headed.
I can't do that
Yeah, I get real. Ooh.
unless I'm very, very sick. If I'm very, very sick, then my body will go to sleep like that. But I have to be sick. So
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to start closing the rooms because it takes a few seconds for them to get
okay,
all back in.
okay, okay.
Okay, I think everybody is back. Please go ahead and mute yourself again. Okay, so what I would like to do is, I think instead of writing it over in the chat, let's just go down group one and the spokesperson just unmute and talk about what your group selected as the big takeaway. So who's the spokesperson for group one?
It's me, Katie Rogers.
Hey, Katie.
Hey, Dr. Rivas. So our group discussed creating conditions that are conducive to change, and those conditions have to rely on, number one, basing them in reality, not theory, removing judgment, and making sure that the effort is not forced in any way. And these sort of efforts that keep Lord talk kept coming up in our group. Would help create an overall buy-in, whether it's administrator teacher situation or administrator school situation. But we thought that those were some key players in creating buy-in.
Okay, thank you. All right, group two.
Hey there, I volunteered to put the information in because of my voice, but I will try. So some keywords that we came up with was dialogue, the importance of confidence, in communicating respect, but also valuing other people and not maybe what they're doing now, but the will to want to, the end result is as they grow. And then also the bigger picture of student success. So I think Leah talked about skill versus will. You know, and when you're having a dialogue with people that that you want to, you know, give respect, but you expect respect in return. But that happens with building a trusting relationship, and in the heading, being brave enough to open up in a conversation to begin with, knowing that at the end, we're all trying to help students succeed.
Yeah. Who did you say talked something about skill versus will?
I think it was Leah.
Oh yes, in the part of the dialogue, when her part, she was talking about the compliance and the commitment, but also sometimes in that dialogue with students might be trying, but they just can't get it, or teachers might be trying and they just can't get it, whereas somebody does have it, but they're just being compliant. So some of the, like you're saying, my data might not look good, but I stay after school every day and work is out at 2:45. So you have the skill versus the will. So, you know, and that's even sometimes with students, like we want everybody to succeed, and but sometimes some students, we know you can do it, but you just don't have the will to do it. So I can't make you do it. So skill versus will. And then everybody, it's not all our kids. It's not just my classroom. Like some people are saying, I'm in a math class. And so we're looking at the math data. But if the counselor is in there and the music teacher is there, it's all our data. So they need to understand that part too. So that's
Mhm.
kind of like the dialogue we were having.
Yes, and in my working with adults or students, either one, I tend to work better. I mean, I will hang in there and work and work and work if someone has the will.
Mm-hmm.
And those kind of adults, working with those kinds of adults, hang with them. I probably hang with them way too long, but give me somebody that has the will, and I will work with them until that skill comes up. Thank you. All right, group three.
So like group two, we also talked about our key takeaway being the dialogue, just making sure you're having meaningful conversations and listening to everyone as a stakeholder within the conversation. It really helps produce that buy-in and shows that you trust your staff, and helps establish, your staff establish trust in you and the process. And then that way, if you're having that open dialogue and keeping the trust open within your staff, you'll have more buy-in and then more success, especially when looking at your data and your growth of your students.
A lot of you've mentioned that trust, building that trust. All right, group number four, spokesperson.
Dr. Revis, before group four comes on, one of the things that I've learned to do, in fact, I practiced it this week, being the executive director, no matter who it is, I don't care who you have working for you, with you, whatever, they're going to come to you for the final answer on some, or final assurance on something. So what I've learned to do, especially with the academy that I have, I will put out what I want out ahead of time. But I don't always show up at that first meeting. I will keep people, because if I go, it's as if I can't get everything out of them that I want, because they're expecting me to give it. So I will preclude my meeting with a different kind of meeting, so that by the time I get there, they will have exercised their strengths, their knowledge, everything that they know, and they will have been challenged to have done what they need to do really before I get there. So it's not me doing everything, or me doing all the talking. So, you've got to recognize that as leaders too. It's easy for us to take over, but we've got to learn how to sit back and listen. Teachers and staff know a lot more than we give them credit for a lot of times. So, just learn to practice the skill of listening and talking only when you need to. Listen a lot.
And just to piggyback on that, one of my weaknesses as a leader, and I know this, is that people will come to you and want to know what to do in this situation. Well,
Me too.
I'm a fixer, okay? And I
Me
like to
too.
fix things and move on.
hmm
But I'm not teaching them to fix things themselves. And so I have to intentionally shut my mouth and say, what do you think you should do? Because you want to teach them to fish. Otherwise, you're always going to be fishing. You want to
Right.
teach them to have that confidence and to build their confidence. And so it's asking a lot of questions, asking the right questions without giving answers, without giving them always what you want them to do. Because they've got
Revis,
questions, right?
one more thing. Monday, my principal called me. He was very frustrated. And I just listened and he laid out all this stuff. He said, Dr. Stemmer, when would you have time, to meet with us? That was the purpose of the meeting today. So I listened to him. Yesterday, a representative from DPI came. He texted me and he said, so and so's here from DPI. Do you want to drop in? I said, thank you. I will see you tomorrow during our scheduled meeting. I didn't want to go. I had him to handle DPI, handle the situation. When I walked in the meeting today, I found an opportunity. I said, Mr. Blue, how did the meeting with DPI go yesterday? He said, wonderful. I'll share that with you. But had I gone, I would have been basically taking over yesterday. But I gave him the opportunity to do his job as the principal by not going.
Right. All right. Group 4 spokesperson. Where are we?
I think that's me.
We all kind of chickened out.
Yeah.
Are you going to go?
Well, thank
I
you,
think that's me.
April.
So we mainly talked about trust and defending ourselves, and we even talked about listening to the speaker, as you kind of went over a lot. Listening to that speaker and being able to stay in the moment of what we're kind of presenting to our principals or our team. So
Okay,
I think
great.
that's all of it.
Okay, great. Thank you. Group 6 spokesperson.
So we talked about dialogue and equality, and we saw that connection of how they really relate. And with the dialogue, it's a different form of conversation, but when you add those 6 components like openness and psychological safety and the rest of those, you're creating that place for equality and choice and voice. And so when you have the proper dialogue, we are noticing that those other partnership principles all kind of meddled in together along with that. And that, especially when you add that data piece, that third voice, and that's when you really have a conversation where you're not focusing on your individual, but you're focusing on the main thing.
Okay, thank you, Gwen. Very nice. All right, and we're down to group 7.
That's me. So our group talked a lot about like how we communicate and being a good communicator and being respectful, but also like being competent about our data so that like it didn't come off as negative, but trying to find the positives even when it may not look so good. A couple of us actually presented our presentations that we gave to our principal to our school improvement teams. And some of it may not have been the best data, but we've tried to find positives in the way that we approached it to say, but look how much you grew. Like, yes, this is something we should all work on together. We're all in this together kind of thing. And then also just, we talked about like being open to dialogue and feedback when you give them the data that might be hard to swallow and just having those worthwhile conversations.
All right, great. I'm glad you guys shared too. And our last group, number 8, who is our spokesperson there?
That's me. We talked about making a connection to being a leader in me school. And one of the habits says seek first to understand. And so we talked about listening well. And we talked about a quote on page 50 that says that as administrators or coaches, we need to be careful not to rob a teacher of their chance to feel a sense of accomplishment.
That's a great ending thought. Not that we would ever do that intentionally, but sometimes, as I said, my weakness is always to be the problem solver. I think people would get very tired of that very quickly. So, the old saying that your biggest strength taken to the extreme can be your biggest weakness. So we often have to be mindful of that. And you will find out a lot about yourself going through this program, particularly in 605. We do a lot of work about your strength and getting to know yourself as a leader. So nice job, everybody. Thank you for fully participating and engaging and trying to do a little something different.
Excellent dialogue.
Yes.
Okay. Again, I know that it's like we're beating the dead horse again, but just a reminder, because the end of week 7 is coming up soon, your clinical internship reminders, and remember, don't wait until the last minute to start pulling that information together for your logs, and we'll give you some directions. Next week, we'll give you some directions about where you will place that and what you'll do. Dr. Revis, I've worked on something, and I'll share that with you. But just, are there any questions about what's expected of you at the end of week 7 as it relates to your internship work? Everybody doing good? Finding there's plenty of opportunities. There should be plenty of opportunities. So, and everything, all schools are up and going well now. So I know, there should be opportunities now. We're already having the, progress reports coming out, parent meetings, after school or whatever. There's opportunities that you can help with some leadership things as well with that. So, look for opportunities, ask permission to do some things. Don't wait to be asked. Ask permission to do things when you know that you can with that. And Dr. Revis, can you pull up one of a week 2 rubric? I just want to talk about something just as a reminder. Week 2, rubric 2, rubric 3, it doesn't matter. As long as I've got something that I can point out. Yeah, that's good. Okay. I want you to look at this. We've explained this, but I don't know that if we've explained it in detail enough to help you understand. When Dr. Revis and I when we get your work on Sunday evening for the first time, we gauge our final decision on what we're going to give you, the grade that we're going to give you at that point. We base it on what this rubric says. Beginning, I don't know that I've had anybody at beginning, but it's okay to be developing because you're doing some of this for the first time. And so when you get a grade back from Dr. Revis and me the first time. It could be anywhere, it could be 70, it could be 75, it could be 80. Don't beat yourself up over that. Remember, that's an opportunity to make your work better, and it should make you go back, and it should make you look at, we try to give you some feedback why, but it should give you take it, go back to this and see, now what am I missing? Now, at the minimal, it should be meeting, and that means that you've met the standards, and you can move on. Now, we will encourage you, and we will say, if you should always strive for exceeding, but you've got to go over and beyond. Meeting means that you're doing what you're supposed to do. Exceeding means that there's a wow effect to what you've done. It's over and beyond. So you've got to figure out, what, I've done what I'm supposed to do in this. What can I do to take it over, take it to the top, or take it to that next level, so that when Dr. Revis reads it, when Dr. Stebbins reads it, when it goes to somebody other than them, what is going to be the wow effect in it? What are they going to see that stands out, that's different? You get a review, you get an opportunity for editing. Now, we've been a little bit lenient, but we're going to stop some of this, because when you get an opportunity to edit it, that means that you should edit it to as much perfection as you can when you send it back, because that's going to be our final grade. Now, at the end of the day, if you choose not to get it to the place where it needs to be, that means that you're on your own. You've still got to do it, but we can't camp out there and keep going back to the same thing over and over and over again. You've got to bring closure to it so that you can concentrate on what the next step is. And it's like straddling the fence when you need to work on this, and then you've got this to do. So I am encouraging you, Dr. Revis is encouraging you to when you get that feedback, while it's fresh on your mind, try to build in your time to go ahead and edit it, and don't wait until, on Sunday night, when you're going to get it Sunday night or Monday, you're going to get the feedback. Go ahead and address it then while it's fresh on your mind, and then you will not be struggling on Thursday evening to get it to us by 6 o'clock. So just go back and pay attention. The rubrics are there for a reason. So pay attention to the rubrics and challenge yourself to always look in that fourth column, and try to make sure when you even submit it on Sunday night, every effort should be made to have covered all your bases from column 4, even on Sunday night. Give it your best, the best that you can give it the first time. And it can only get better from there if we give you suggestions. Okay.
And let me say this. Typically, what Dr. Stebbins and I have been accustomed to is there's an assignment due every week. Well, with the revamping of the program, of course, that's not the case. You may not have an assignment but due every 2 weeks, and that's great. It gives you time to slow down. But I still have people who have not returned their work back in for assignment 2. So guys, you got to keep up with this, and you need to get that done. It's due on Sunday. By the following Thursday, you should be doing all your revisions to me by 6 p.m. that Thursday, and we're done. So I'm going to be lenient this time. But from here on out, on the Sunday night when something's due, revisions need to be made and it's resubmitted by Thursday of that week at 6 p.m. And that's just what we need to do because you need to finish that and get rid of that so you can focus on the current assignment.
Okay.
And that
Okay.
brings us to checking your grades. Does everybody know how to check grades? Everybody feel good about that?
And just remember, if you don't go back and edit it, then it stays what it is the first time. You have an opportunity for your grade to improve after that first review. So, I would get all the points that I could get. Okay. Dr. Revis, have you got the agenda pulled up?
I don't have a thing pulled up.
Let me share.
Okay.
Let me share my screen then.
Thank you.
Let me do that. Okay. Let me do this. Okay. Let's look at what to do. This is this week's work. Okay. We want you to look at, remember we introduced standard 1 of the executive leadership standards at the beginning of the semester. We want you to look at standard for North Carolina Standards for School Executives. We want you to look at standard 2 this week. What we want you to do is open it up. We want you to read it. It's not a lot of reading, but what we want you to do is to be prepared next week during class to make comments on standard 2 and begin looking at that. Remember, you're thinking as a principal. Begin looking at that in relationship to the work that you're doing now. And I want you to be able to talk about, make some comparisons with that. And I want you to see how it fits hand in glove with what we're doing. So that's one thing that we want you to do. Text reading, chapter 4 of the textbook, the impact cycle. And again, be prepared. We may do another breakout session next week, breakout rooms, and come back and have a discussion with that. But chapter 4 of the textbook, you're to do that as well. And then we want to, Dr. Revis, I think we need to ask him, are there any questions of us at this time about what is due this coming by this Sunday evening with the additional quantitative and qualitative data collection and analysis? Any questions from anybody? Remember, this came up this week, and I'm not picking on anybody, just a reminder that what we said that you could do focus groups and that you could do interviews. You cannot do surveys. Remember, surveys have to be approved by the university, and there's a system called Qualtrics that you may be familiar with. It has to go through Qualtrics, and for this course, we will not be doing surveys. We may do it, when you get to 603. There may be a survey at that time, but there won't be any surveys at this course. Am I right, Dr. Revis?
Correct.
We will not be doing surveys. So I think we had a couple of hands.
Nicole?
That were raised, yeah.
My quick question is when you're discussing what the people said, either in the interview or in the focus group, we're just putting the teacher said, right? And we're not doing the reference at the bottom, right?
No.
Okay.
And you could, Nicole, you could actually say teacher A, teacher B,
Okay.
teacher C. You could name them that way.
And one of my I know we're not doing the county anonymity, but one of them's my special ed director and stuff. I mean, there's not a name, but I would need to capitalize that, just put that correct and not put it. That's okay though, right? As far as not putting a teacher, that's an actual person. I just with anonymity, I just want to make sure that's okay.
Yes.
I'm not sure your question about capitalizing though. I don't.
No, you wouldn't put the director would not be capitalized. Or
I want to just double check because that's a title. So I wasn't sure with that specific one. That's all. But thank you.
Okay, Ryan.
I have a quick APA question too. Since this is a new component, do we start our figures back over with number one?
No.
Or we pick up from the last time?
Pick up from your last time.
Okay.
Yes. Yep. Okay.
Because we're gonna put all these together into one document, okay?
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Jennifer?
So with you just saying that we couldn't use surveys for this, my question is there an echo?
You're okay.
Okay, let me turn my volume down just a little. Our MTSS team sent out a Google form just to get for our students with disabilities to see if it was a mindset as far as teachers go with, do you think students with disabilities have the ability to reach grade level standards?
Dr. Rivers, I think if it's a
that
certain
data for our whole
Yeah.
school. So you're
Yeah.
saying that cannot be
No,
used?
no. I think if it's a survey that the school has already done, just like your working condition survey, if it's something that's already out there and established by the school, I think you can use that information. Don't you, Dr. Rivers?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. You just can't conduct one yourself.
Right.
Okay, so it was actually our MTSS team, and
Yes,
it went
yes.
through the county. And okay, perfect.
Yeah, that's
Thank
fine.
you.
That's fine.
Yes.
Okay.
Kara?
Just identify the survey. Okay.
Yeah, I had a question. Do you have an example or give a little more guidance in what the hypothesis is supposed to look like about how changes in them could lead to improve student performances in the priority area? Is it just similar to what we did in assignment 2, or is there more to it?
Dr. Rivers, if you would answer that, we talked about that this week. You and I
Right.
did.
I think at this time you start needing to get more specific. In the first time when you generated a hypothesis, it was pretty general. You just said that if we implement research-based strategies for our students with disabilities in math, then their learning will improve and our schools score. At this point, you need to get a little more specific and maybe talk about some of these strategies that you are identifying through this other analysis, if you can. Like you were supposed to ask teachers, what strategies do they feel like? Now, this hypothesis will morph as we go through the semester and as you gain more information and as you do your own research. So it is okay to think about this hypothesis will morph. Did that answer your question, Gara?
Is there like a certain number of changes we should have, like a minimum or a maximum in the hypothesis, or should we just mention one specific change?
If you have a couple, I would do a couple, but I wouldn't get any deeper than that right now.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, okay.
Just think about this, Kara. Just think about, okay, it kind of goes back to what I was saying about the rubric. It's at this level. Take what you've done and just decide, what can I do to take it to the next level?
Mm-hmm.
And I know you're going to have to think about that, but just think, what do I need to do to take what I've already done to the next level?
And again, understanding that as we move through the assignments, that hypothesis will change. Leah?
I had just a little bit insight. I just want to make sure I'm doing it right with like a focus group. I know from the helpful hints, but am I only speaking with my academic priority people, or if it's a grade level, like we're kind of like departmentalized. My focus group was a grade level, but that the grade level is departmentalized, or
your focus group is not defined. It can be whomever you think is positioned and poised to help affect change in your school. Okay? However, the focus of your focus group questions should be on that target student area and the target student population. Okay?
Okay, that's what I
Okay.
Okay, those are good questions.
Yeah.
Good questions. So is everybody good with what you have to turn in to us on this Sunday evening? Everybody
Kara, did
good?
you have another question? Okay. All right. I was making sure your hands up. All right. Anything else?
Is there any way I could hear other people's examples of their qualitative data that they're collecting? Just other examples of what they're finding in their schools or how they're collecting that?
Sure. Go ahead and type in the chat, if you will, some other, did you say quantitative?
Qualitative.
Qualitative. Go ahead and type in the chat what are the qualitative that you've done.
Or what you plan to do if you haven't done it yet.
Right. I think we have to stop share in order to see those.
Okay.
Don't we? I mean,
We'll
they're popping
stop.
up, but
We'll stop. Yes.
okay.
Okay.
Only had a couple.
Okay. Ryan said focus group with teachers, interviews with both after-school program coordinators. That's good. Marita said
Remember, you just need
classroom
two sources. You just need two sources.
classroom observations. Melissa Holloman focus group with my instructional support. Lead teacher, guidance counselor, administrator, principals, AP, focus group, fourth grade with grade 4 and special education teachers. Interview with math department coordinator. Focus group, interviews with district curriculum and instructor director, lead EC teacher, principal. Amanda, qualitative data examples, several interviews with focus group, fourth grade, science teacher team, coach, assistant principal, principal, teacher leader of family connection outreach programs. Tanisha, focus group with instructional support, interview with math coordinator. So it goes back to what Dr. Revis said. It can be anybody that's working with the students that you've identified as your population of students. It could be anybody, that has contact with them. And when I say contact, if they work at your school and they work with children, they pretty much have contact with them. So,
Does that help, Jennifer? Does that give you any ideas, Jennifer?
Yes, it does. It looks similar to mine. Yes, thank you.
Okay.
I'm going to go back and share our screen again, Dr. Revis, and then I'm going to pull up. This is, remember that my stuff will not open up on this. Okay, now we realize now everybody's clear with what's due this week, but also we need to go ahead and let you understand what's coming next. So, Dr. Revis, if you would lead off on this, what's coming next after they turn in their work this coming Sunday.
Okay, so assignment 4 is really, I really wish we hadn't done assignment 4, right? Because it's very repetitive of assignment 3, but it's in there. It's not going to cause you a lot of work, but if we could can you pull up the helpful, let's pull up the rubric first.
Okay. Remember, mine will open up on here, so I'm going to stop share.
Okay.
And let me
Uh,
Let me go back in here, Dr. Talk, Dr. Evans, while I'm bringing
okay,
this up.
you want me to try to pull up the rubric?
Yes,
Okay, let
if
me,
you want to do that, yeah. I had come out of
all right, here's rubric 4.
okay, no, that's to do. Okay, here I've got it. Can you see this? Can you
I have minimized my screen.
can you see my screen?
No.
Okay, let me share again. I got it. Sorry, class. Okay. Let me. Well, sir, right here. Well, I'm sorry. Dr. Rivers, you're going to have to do it. I can't get it up.
Okay. All right. Sorry, guys.
I had it up and I lost it. I had it saved, but when I went into something else, it wiped it out.
Okay. Let's look at assignment 4 rubric.
Okay.
What you're doing is you're looking at gaps and areas for improvement. Well, quite honestly, you're identifying those gaps in assignment 3, right? And at the end of assignment 3, we ask you to provide some recommendations. So there's not a lot of new information other than your focus is kind of this assignment is kind of really focusing on your identifying of gaps, recommendations, what you would do differently. All right. So you see, I'm only going to talk at the exceeding level. You clearly and thoroughly identify your gaps and areas for growth. I know that Jennifer and I had a wonderful conversation about scheduling for Jennifer, excuse me, I don't know if it was special needs populations or English language learners. I think it was special students with disabilities, wasn't it? And and Jennifer, after she's looking and analyzing the school schedule, how she realized as a classroom teacher, it's a revolving door in and out of my classroom with kids going out for special support for math, for reading, it's just crazy. And so we really talked about if children leave your classroom, they're missing your instruction. And many, many times a specialist, a special needs teacher does not have the content skill, particularly when you're getting in upper elementary and middle school, does not have that content knowledge to really support your children in math, for example. So she, I think, is going to make some recommendation that we look at the service delivery model for how we're serving our students with disabilities. So, she's gonna focus on that and, probably another recommendation or two, and that's what you need to do. So you're identifying those gaps and areas for growth. And you also here need to make sure, because with that NCPPA portfolio, they require that you're very clear about who was involved in helping you collect this second layer of analysis. So make sure you reiterate my fourth grade team, my ESL director, my ESL school teacher, my principal, parents, MTSS team, whomever. Make sure you clearly and thoroughly identify who was involved and what role you played. Okay?
Dr. Rivers, stop sharing and I can pull it up now. I got it.
Okay.
I had to go back out and go back in. Okay. Well, I'm sorry. I said I could. Guys, what am I doing wrong?
We can't really tell what you're trying to do, Dr. Stedman.
I'm trying to bring up. I'm trying to bring up.
Are you sharing your screen or your tabs?
No, I'm trying to get. I'm trying to go to. Anyway, I apologize. Go ahead and talk, Dr. Revis. I'm going to try again. I don't know what is happening here
You want
with
me to
this.
share again?
Yeah, because we need to pull up the helpful hints.
Okay.
And that's what I was trying to do, but I can see the document, but it won't let me bring it up.
All right, I think you're going to have to stop share. I've got it pulled up if you want to stop
I stopped
sharing.
sharing. I
Okay.
did.
All right. Here we go.
You got to share. You got to share, Dr. Rose.
Okay. Can you see my screen, the rubric?
Now we can, yes.
Okay. So, and once again, you are tweaking that hypothesis. And the other new thing is making sure that you're making a connection between your school existing goals for your school and district goals. Well, that's not going to be difficult to do because what you're trying to do is increase student learning. And I'm sure your school has goals for that as well as your district. So you should be okay with that. But you're going to do a lot of reiteration, summarizing, pulling things together, and some reiteration. And so a helpful hints document, let me see if I can find it.
There it is.
I just went through and very quickly spoke about the identified gaps in my fictitious school. And discuss other gaps that I found in assignment 3. Here are my improvement suggestions. I had 6 of them that I fictitiously gathered from my work that I did with my focus groups and my interviews and my other quantitative data. And then I've got to do 2 more things. Align it to my school and district priority and my hypothesis. Because up here, when I am summarizing my gaps, I've already noted my who is working with me and how I collected that data. Kudos to those of you who pulled in parents or community members. But that's all I did. Again, it's probably an assignment that we should have collapsed with assignment 3, but we didn't. And rather than tear everything up, this is an easy assignment for you. And we're going to try to put a 1-week time limit on this one because we need to get you in. I want to get you in the NCPPA material and review a few things. Okay?
Right.
Any
And also
questions on that?
and
Katie?
begin thinking about with the NCPPA, just remember, and we'll talk about this next week in detail. Remember, it's week 7, I think, too, Dr. Revis, that they have to, in October, you've got to go ahead and pay that $150 so that, and we'll talk about that. So be preparing for that, knowing that it's coming up, because you're going to have to go ahead and do that in a couple of weeks.
Katie, do you have a question?
Yes, ma'am. I guess it's kind of for assignment 3 and 4, but if we have an improvement suggestion that, like, we have some things happening at our school that are in their infancy. They are, they haven't caught any steam yet. Is it okay for that to be an improvement suggestion, or does it have to be something totally new?
It can be an improvement suggestion as long as it connects to what your data show.
Right.
Yes.
The example I'm thinking of in my head, it was a result of analyzing data and getting to a point where we thought this could be helpful, but it probably needs another year or two to unfold. So,
Sure.
Okay. I just want to make sure.
Now,
Thank you.
again, let me just say this. These recommendations, again, will morph.
Right.
They may not. You may do your research in a couple weeks and say, nope, that's what I'm going to do. And my research that I'm going to do, and we're actually going to make you go in the Dover Library and do research. The research I found aligns to my suggestions. Or you may say, wait a minute, that's too many things. And you know what? That is a lot of things. It may not look like it. It's a lot. But it's very focused around.
Right.
It's very focused, but those are a lot of things.
And Dr. Revis, Katie leads into a good question because you're beginning to see where all of this is headed. At the end, you may not be able to implement something now, you can get it started. But at the end, when you put a plan of action in place, then you're going to look at what can I do now, short-term objectives, midterm, or long-range things. That would be a long-range something that you would look at, but it's a part of the plan. Financially, it may be a program that you can't afford now, but your administration has agreed that they'll start putting money aside to help with a program that would work with the problem. So you're beginning to see where all of this is headed.
Like my 4 strategy, what's the likelihood that I'm going to get increased funding in my school in September? None. So what I may do though is look at could we redirect some current funds to hire an additional ELL teacher? I don't know. And that may be one that just falls out because you can't do it. But I want to validate, and I want you to leave in what information came from your interviews and focus groups for this week.
And those are opportunities, going back to number 4, that's an opportunity for you to have in your leadership meetings with your principal. That's an opportunity to go ahead and bring this up and just say, I've thought about this. What do you think? And you can when you're meeting, they can give you some ideas leading into all of this, just in your conversations with them. So.
And I'm just going to say one more thing, because I think I know it all, okay? But if you are not using a push-in service delivery model for your students with disabilities or your second language learners, you need to really think about that. Because, well, the research is very clear on the most effective model. Now, the problem is it causes you to have more staff. But you can do some modifications. Maybe look at, how you could do a modified push-in delivery service. I don't know. That's for later on. But anyway.
Right. Okay.
Jennifer, question?
Has everyone received their email from Watermark in regards to TaskStream? Because I have not still.
Let Dr. Stone know immediately. Send a message to Dr. Stone and tell him that you have not. And copy Dr. Revis in that as well.
I don't think those emails are coming as seamlessly as they have in the past. Nicole?
Okay.
I just wanted to know that the person that you had spoke to earlier, I don't know if she wants her name put out there and everything, but at our school there we have an intervention model We have, of course, the tier 1, which is the core instruction, and we have the tier 2 and something called equal interventions. And only during the tier 2 and the equal intervention time is the only time that our EL people and our EC people can actually pull. That way they're not missing the core instruction. I
Yeah.
just wanted to present that for whoever was working on that
Yeah.
part.
Yeah, that if you're going to do that, do it during your small group instruction.
That's it. That's when they're having small groups, and then
Yeah.
those groups can get pulled out, and it's not impeding on the teacher's tier 1.
Right.
I
Thank
don't
you.
know who was doing that, but I was just suggesting that.
Thank you, Nicole.
Okay, Amanda?
One of the members said something about presenting their information to the School Improvement Council. I know with us presenting information to our focus group, would a improvement suggestion be to further our data analysis, collection and analysis to other members and stakeholders? Would that be also an improvement to get the ball rolling? Like Katie was discussing, some of her things that were happening, I believe, are the same things that are happening in our school, baby wise. And so
I think
I
you're a
guess
little early to take it to school improvement.
okay.
Let's get toward, let's let you get your research done, and then you're going to have to run it by another focus group, which could be your school improvement. But you needed to get your research done, and you're actually going to be able to plan with strategies.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
But yeah, that'd be great.
That was a good question, though, Amanda.
Yeah. Great.
Okay, Dr. Revis, I think that we've given them an idea what the next step is,
Right.
So
Now that's
yeah,
after your due date on Sunday. And we want to get that assignment 4 in
it's on the 28th,
28th, 1 week.
yes.
And that should be good, great for you.
Yeah, you
because-
should have no problems with that.
Yeah, 1 week. Okay.
Okay. Okay, any questions? Everybody
Guys,
good?
I appreciate your flexibility in allowing Dr. Stedman and I to be honest with you that as we look at things hindsight, we should have put this together with assignment 3. But, it's the way it goes. And as long as you're getting all the pieces that you need to get to build your portfolio, I think you're going to be great, in great shape. But I appreciate you allowing us this flexibility and letting us feel, or letting me feel comfortable, and just being very transparent with you.
Well, me too. Yes.
And we think we're going to be working with you in some capacity next semester. So, not really sure right now, but we may continue to work on that portfolio process together.
Right.
May.
Which and I hope for you that you realize that that's a good thing, because you won't have to be dealing with new people, getting used to them. You'll be used to us. You'll be very used to us by the end of this semester.
You will be tired of us, probably.
But at least you'll know us and we'll know you, and we won't have to build relationships all over again with that. So Dr. Stone discussed that with us last night, so it's still in the making. So, okay, Dr. Revis, I think that, if all, as they say in church, if all hearts and minds are clear, we can give the benediction.
Thank you, guys. Have a good rest of your week. Bye.
Bye, everybody.
I'm going to stop.